This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, welcome everyone. We continue in our Haftorah series. We're up to the 74th Haftorah. Okay, we go to the Sefer Chazon David from Rabbi Yaakov Ganjian from the beginning of the year on Parshas Hazinu. This week's Parsha, we lay in the Haftorah from Shmuel Beis, the Shiur of David HaMelech, and we lay in Vayidaber David LaHashem es divrei hashira hazois, which is similar to the Parsha, which this week's Parsha is a Shira, right? Ve'ata kisu lechem es hashira hazois. The Shiras Hazinu is written as a Shira. So the Haftarah begins, Vayoymar Hashem salim tzudasi umefalti li. God is my rock, my fortress, and my source of salvation. So the Chidah in his commentary to the Haftarah says like this. We know that if somebody is vowing to bring a carbon, they should not say Lashem Oila, but Oila Lashem. Why don't we say Lashem Oila? Because they're afraid a person might die after they say the word Lashem and they said Hashem's name in vain. So you don't say Lashem Oila, but rather you say Oila Lashem. This way, in case you don't survive the word Oila, it's a halbatzara, right? So at least at the Hesped, they won't nail you for saying Hashem's name in vain. Now, the Mefarshim explain on the pasuk Nidarai Lashem Ashalem Negdana L'chal Amay Yakar Be'inei Hashem Hamav Salah Chasidav. Right? It says like this: Nidarai Lashem Ashalem. Why? Yakar Be'inei Hashem Hamav Salah Chasidav. The kavanah in these psukim, the Mefarshim says, Nidarai Lashem, that a person sometimes is able to say Lashem Oila and say the name of Hashem before. Opposite of most people. Most people have to say Oila Lashem. But David HaMelech is saying, Nidarai Lashem Hashalem. I'm able to make an neder and say Lashem. Why? Yakar Beinei Hashem Hamav Chasidav. Because God doesn't want to kill me. He likes me enough that I could survive the second word. In other words, David HaMelech is saying, Nidarai Lashem, I can make a neder Lashem. Why? Because Yakar Beinei Hashem Hamav Chasidav. Yeah? I'm not worried about that. So the Chidah writes, V'oy nira. Another reason why David HaMelech did not have to be concerned when he made a neder and he was able to say Nidarai Lashem Hashalem, instead he was able to say Lashem Oila instead of Oila Lashem, it's because Ki David HaMelech Hashem Kol Divrei Tchinoisav Umizmayrav Hay Baruch HaKodesh. David didn't just sing a song. Let me strum a tune on my harp. All of the songs of David were Baruch HaKodesh. And if God is putting the words in his mouth, so he doesn't have to worry, because he's not speaking. God's speaking. And if the din was that he should suddenly die, Hashem wouldn't have said the word Hashem. So this approach for why David HaMelech was able to first say Hashem and then Oila fits very well into the pasuk. The pasuk says like this: Vayidaber David Lashem es divrei hashir hazois. Meaning, David spoke to Hashem. All of his words were Baruch HaKodesh, like all of his songs, including this song. And therefore, since he's speaking Baruch HaKodesh, Vayoymar Hashem Sali. He didn't say Sali Hashem. Why didn't he say Sali Hashem? He should have said Sali Hashem. Instead, he said Hashem Sali. The reason is, since it's Vayidaber David Hashem, since this song is Baruch HaKodesh, he was able to say Hashem Sali. Another reason is, since God is Salim Tzudasi, he's matzil me from sakonos, like we said earlier, Yakar Beinei Hashem. It's Nidarai Lashem Hashalem, because Yakar Beinei Hashem Hamav Salah Chasidav. Okay. Next offering. The pasuk says like this: Ha'el tamim darkayim ras Adonai tzrufa mageinu lecha el achoisim bai. The words of God are pure, a shield for all who take refuge in Him. Very interesting. We all know how many permutations of Yud Kei Vav Kei are there? 12. Each month of the year has a different permutation of Yud Kei Vav Kei. For instance, the Yud Kei Vav Kei of Chodesh Nisan is Yud Kei Vav Kei forwards. Yismechu Hashamayim v'sagel ha'aretz. And not only does every month have its permutation, each month has a pasuk that is merames to its permutation. So Adar's used to be backward, and it's merumaz in v'cholzeh einenu shoiveli, and it was switched. Every month has its permutation, yeah? And it's brought that it's, Kabbalists, when they daven on Rosh Chodesh, and they say Baruch Atah Hashem, Mekadesh Yisrael Rashi Chodeshim, they have in mind the permutation of that particular month. Okay. It's interesting, what is the permutation for the month of Av? Hey, Vav, Yud, Hey. Fine. How do we call God's name? You know, when you sing Haftorah Nadarim, Uveshem Havaya. Where do we come up with that? Shem Havaya. Who made up that word? Shem Havaya. Obviously, you can't say Yud Kei Vav Kei forward, so say it backwards. Say Hey Vav. I guess it's backward, but why do we say it backward? It's interesting. We could have had a myriad of ways of coming up with a nickname for the Shem Havaya. Why do we dafka use the Shem Havaya of the month of Av? Right? Because think about it. The month of Av is Hey Vav Yud Hey backward. So this is the question that's raised in the commentary of the Ben Ish Chai and the Haftorah, and he quotes the Bnei Yissaschar who asks this question. Look at number 5. Nira l'rmois b'siyata d'shmaya. It is known that the Shem Havaya Baruch Hu has 12 permutations, and in every month a different permutation is shoyleit. The fifth combination, right? Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, Av. The fifth one is Tziruf Hey, followed by a Vav, then a Yud, then a Kei. And this is the Tziruf of this Seder. So the Bnei Yissaschar in his Ma'amorim on Tammuz and Av, he says, "V'hinei tizboinen minagav v'seinu Torah here." Let's contemplate the custom of our forefathers, which is Torah. The minhag that's morgul in Klal Yisrael is when they want to say something and they want to mention God's name, we can't say Yud Kei Vav Kei forward. So what do? We say Shem Havaya. But that's the tziruf of the month of Av. Why did they choose this tziruf, Davka, and not another tziruf? This is the tziruf of the month of Av. You know, this is the saddest month of the year. So why would we Davka pick the tziruf of the month of Av? So the Bnei Yissaschar suggests, since this is the tziruf of the month, that Hashem is asud to bring the Geula, we know Mashiach is born on Tisha B'Av, and Kimei Tzeis Chametz Mitzrayim in Nisan, just like in the month of Nisan where God's name is Yud Kei Vav Kei forward, so God will ultimately make the Tziruf of Av forward as well. Therefore, Minhag Yisrael is when they want to mention God's name, they say Shem Havaya, because the Tziruf of this Chodesh that we're hoping for will be a month of Yeshua, Nacham, and Geula, like Nisan, which is Keseder, so we dafka refer to the Seder of that month, which will ultimately be Nishapich for Klal Yisrael. However, the Ben Ish Chai offers a very novel interpretation here. He quotes the Bnei Yissaschar, and then he says in the next side of the page, Divrei Maschel V'hinei, he says, "V'hinei ano avda amarti tam nachon upashel chakir shel Rav Nitzkar." I want to give a simple reason why the Jewish people, that's us. Okay, I want to tell you a big chiddush. You guys in this room, you are part of the Jewish people. So we Jews, why do we refer to it as the Shem Havaya? Mashanago kol haska b'fiyam oy Shem Havaya instead of Hashem Kiksavai. Why not Shem Hey Hey Vav Yud, Hey Hey Yud Vav? You know, there are a lot of ways to do it. Hainu ki yadua shekol hatzirufim shel Havaya. All of the Shemos Havaya, by the way, have a pasuk where they're merumas b'rashei tevos. Yismechu hashamayim v'sagel haaretz. There's only one tziruf where it's not merumas b'rashei tevos, where it says the tziruf straight out. Where is that? Ukenoida achat tziruf hazeh shu oisies hey vav yud and then hey It's said explicitly in the pasuk. And not only is it said in the pasuk, it's read, it's pronounced in the pasuk. Ki zeh hatziruf nirmos in the pasuk in Va'era. Hine yad Hashem haya in Va'era. Like it says in the Tikkunim, Hine yad Hashem haya. V'lachein me'achas shehashem kiksav. Now, we obviously, there's another name that also it says it straight out. And what is that?
I have to interrupt. You hit the Lexus, hit the Sukkis, and then bent one of the supports. Your Lexus hit the.
Okay, we'll address it. We're going to address it. Yeah. Okay. V'lachein. So the question, there is another shame, by the way, there's another shame that is alluded to in the pasuk, and that is the Yud Kei Vav Kei. But obviously we can't say the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Yeah. So the other option is all the other shemais are marumas in Rashi Tevos of various words. The only tziruf where it says it spelled out and we're allowed to say it is Hinei Yad Hashem Hayav. L'chein me'achar Hashem Gizov Azaz Gil Peh. We're machmir by all the other tzirufim not to. Right? Are you allowed to say Yud Kei Vav Kei? No. The same way we're not allowed to say Yud Kei Vav Kei. We're machmir not to say any other tziruf. Why? Because the same way you don't want to say the name, you don't want to say a tziruf, because it doesn't say anywhere in the Chumash a word with the tziruf. Achzeh tziruf shel havaya, since there is a dugma in the pasuk, Hine Yad Hashem haya, and we're allowed to say haya. There's nothing wrong with it because it's pasuk in the Chumash. For example, now I didn't know this. Dugma is that timtza b'shem eya. She'anachnu maskim v'inu tamid. Some people say ekya. He says you don't have to. We say eya. Ki nimtza digmasai. There are psukim. Ki eya imcha. There's a I'll be with you. V'chein shem adoi. And then I guess it should say nai. We find other tevos. Even Elokim and Shakai. We say it. We say Elokim and Shakai. When we make a bracha at least. But we say it. We don't say havaya. Meaning we're more machmir with the other tzerufim of the Shem Havaya even more than Elokim and Shakai. Elokim we say, Shakai we say. The other Shemos and tzerufim we don't say. Akol yeshlam dugma b'dvar mishal mikra. But, and likewise, haya, since we have a word, Hine Yad Hashem haya, therefore we're allowed to say it. That's a chiddush nifla. That's why, I never knew this. We say Shem Havaya because there's such a pasuk, such a word. Now, which tziruf is this? It's the fifth tziruf. It's the fifth tziruf. Nisan Iyar Sivan Tamazav. V'nei nira. Kimi eis Hashem hoisazois b'kavana pratis. This is hashkacha pratis that we dafka used to have this tziruf. Why is the tziruf of Av a tziruf that we're allowed to say? The answer is because Av needs more help than any other month. So God orchestrated it that the name of God that is prevalent in that month is a name that we constantly say, Shem Havaya, to be mashpia on Chodesh Av, that needs as much help as it could get. Chodesh Av tzarich lashpia Yosef Shach Chadashim, mach mash chol shasim in Amikra Shazim because of its weakness. V'ayidei zechiras hatziruf k'mayshu b'peh, and by mentioning it with your mouth, tar ba'ashpa'asim mat b'chodesh shalai, it will increase its shefa. V'nei anachnu mekavim, we hope she'asar ha'chodesh shalai is gadol. We hope this month will be greater than all the months. And it will be the Av of all the months. Ultimately, it will be the father of all the months. Like Rav Meir's Shita was to be Medayik in names. And Av will be L'sasin L'simcha more than all the other months of the Geula, more than all the other months. And then we will recognize that we will be able to say Hashem's name, Shem Havaya, in order. Last paragraph in the Ben Ish Chai. Lemedin, ki Hashem anichbad leinitnu oisiyos of lemapeh. We're now to say Yud Kei Vav Kei in order. Only what name of God are we allowed to say? Only the tzir of Hey. Only the fifth tzir of Havaya. This is what it means. Imras Hashem tzirufa. Take the word tzirufa and split it to tziruf Hey. Right, so Loimar. Imras Hashem, saying God's name can only be tzirufa, tziruf hey. Got it? Imras Hashem, tzirufa. The name of God, saying God's name, has to be only tzirufa, tziruf hey. Now this
You have other combinations with the Hashem.
V'hinei, hatziruf hazeh shanachnu naskim azufinu. But this siruf, you know what it accomplishes for us? Magen hu l'chal hachaysim bai. It is a shield for all who take refuge in it. Those who anticipate and await and yearn for the geula of the 5th month, which is in place of the siruf, l'sas and l'simcha. Ki sarbe hashpa shelo yois me'hashpas kol chadashim. Its hashpa will be more than any of the other months. It will be the av l'kulam. This is an astounding pshat. Like this. Hakel tamim dakoi. Imras Hashem, saying God's name, Tzerufa, you can only say it the 5th Tziruf. And that Tziruf is Magen Hu L'chal Hachaysim Bai. One more offering. You ever hear of Sefer Mishlei? The mem in Mishlei is a big mem. It's a big mem. Just like we have big letters in the Torah, we have big letters in Tanakh. It's a big mem. Mishlei. Mishlei Shlomo ben David Melech Yisrael. Now, the Chida writes in the Chemes Hanach, a few lines down, V'chazal Amru, Mishlei Mem Gedoyla. Why? Because Shlomo fasted 40 days to be Zoicha for Chachma. Why did he fast 40 days? Maybe corresponding to the 40 days that the Torah was given in, or Keneged, the 4 Yudim in the 72-letter name of Hashem. What does this mean? If you spell out the Yud Ke Vav Ke b'miluai with Yudin, it's Yud Vav Dalet Hey Yud. Vav is Vav Yud Vav, and Hey becomes the Hey Yud. There are 4 Yuds. Okay. Be it as it may, says the Ben Ish Chai, based on what the Chidas just taught us, that the Mem in Mishlei is big, because Shlomo fasted 40 days to understand Chachma, connected the 40 days of Yitziras Havlad, and connected the 40 days the Torah was given, and connected the 4 Yuds in the Miloi of the 72-letter name of Tziruf of Yud Ke Vav Ke. This is Pshat in the Gemara Psachim, where the Gemara says he learned it from him 40 times, because learning something 40 times is a skula to remember it. So, this is the Pshat. Migdal Yeshua Ismalkai. Migdal could also be read Mem Gadal. Mem Gadal. The big mem, which big mem? The big mem of Mishlei, was to teach me Yeshua Ismalkai. If the salvation of the king, which king? Shlomo HaMelech, he was saved through the 40 days that he fasted, and through that he was Oisa Chesed L'Mshichai. Chesed is the 72, which is B'chachma, through the 4 Yuds of the 72 numerical value of Hashem's name. So Migdal is a remnant, there's a big mem in Mishlei. Rabbi Sai, this was the Haftorah of Shabbos Hazinu, and Bez Hashem will continue after the break. Shkai.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.